Yes, thank you, Megan. And good morning, everyone. So it's interesting how every time in every single banking event, we end up talking about Amazon and Google. There's a lot of discussion on whether Amazon and Google and other tech players in the market will go after incumbent banks. And I think the question is not really whether the tech giants like Google and the others will be fast enough and agile enough to become a bank, but also, whether a bank can move fast enough to become more like a tech company. And, we heard this before. There is this huge transformation ongoing. But even with some basic digital capabilities, most of the banks in the world are still struggling. And what it means, in essence, is that they're struggling actually to stay relevant in the face of their peers that are more digitally mature, if you will, and also their customers that are actually used to much more and better digital footprint. So there are analysts talking about this left and right. And if banks fail to evolve, that is, if they fail to change and respond in a proper way, some are saying that 4 out of 5 banks will cease to exist or at least be unrecognizable by 2030. And this is a very strong statement, I'm aware. Just if you think about it, this also ties into the capacity of a bank to change from a technology standpoint. And we also have to take into consideration the user experience that John talked about earlier today. Just think about where the financial institution historically has been in the past. It's the center of the world of daily activities and daily life of a customer, if you will. And we moved more into a reality where bank can, in the worst case, become just an anonymous vault. Just think about this PSD2-enabled reality that we live in currently in Europe, where I, as a financial institution, have to expose my APIs, I have to expose my data that other players in the market can use. And if those players use much more engaging solutions, my customers can decide to use their solutions with my data, and I totally lost my, basically my FaceTime with my customers, which is a huge risk. So if you think about this, this requires an entirely new approach and way of thinking from the bank perspective. And in order to survive and to thrive in this new reality, this requires a completely new mindset. But it also requires a completely new technological banking landscape in order to respond properly to these challenges. So we're Kony, and we help banks of all sizes to become digital attackers, if you will, in a very short period of time. So to become more like a tech company, to be able to respond to these challenges. And today I would like to introduce you Hamad from National Bank of Oman, who was very kind to travel this morning and join us all here today to talk about how did they change their bank from being much more branch-oriented towards being a digital attacker, digital-oriented, in a country where half of the population is actually under 20. So if I'm thinking about that, we're both 37. I would never go to a branch. Even when I bought my last house, I didn't go to a branch. The bank came to me. So that's the way I like to kind of go after any banking product. And I'm sure that the story of National Bank of Oman has a lot of similarities to that. So with that in mind, off to you.
Thank you, Milian, for telling us about digital attackers, which Kony is offering. Good morning, everybody. Like you said, my name is Hamad Rasool, and I'm from National Bank of Oman. Today, I'm going to talk about National Bank of Oman's digital transformation journey. We started in the year 2013 when we realized that the world has already changed. On one side, there were fintechs trying to take away our business. On the other side, digital disruption was changing the way businesses were being operated. We understood that digital transformation is inevitable for our business, for our existence. We were a traditional bank with servicing our customer through a network of branches, having a brochure-styled website and a very primitive mobile app of no use. Our focus was to sell and sell more through our branches. While we were preparing ourselves for digital transformation, we understood that we are fundamentally changing the way we will be doing business. We took a step back, looked at our business with a fresh perspective, looked at the efficiency of our processes, the limitations of our systems, the architectural deficiencies, and competitor analysis of what banks are doing within the region and outside the region to successfully transform themselves into a digital bank. Our objective was to become a digital leader in Omani banking industry. In a typical scenario, most of the banks, they start with a digital strategy, and then they execute strategy. We took a three-pronged approach, where we introduced superior experience after our digital strategy. Why? Because we believe that experience can make or break your digital transformation. It's a single point of failure for any digital transformation. And then the execution part, which is a normal thing. Coming to the first part of our approach, digital strategy, this was created by in-house teams because we believe that nobody understands our business and our market better than us. Obviously, we took a lot of help from research companies on the future part of it. Some key elements of our digital strategy were looking at the products and services, what change is required in products to support digital business, whether we need to introduce new digital-only products, what is the new operating model that is required to support our digital business? Because now we are changing from a traditional business to a virtual business. What will be the new operating model? Architectural requirements, for example, what systems will undergo a change or what new systems we have to bring into our landscape. People-specific requirement, the skill set to run our digital business, and finally, infrastructure. Obviously, we were going digital. I would like to quote what Steve Jobs once said. Design is not what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. Our learning, look at the full experience. Design it in a simple way that even a basic user can use it. Don't try to design something from your perspective as a banker. Ask your customers what they want and how they want. Design it from customer perspective. And the last thing in the experience that we learned was, let's not, let's not dictate security on the experience. Security is very important. Nobody is denying that. But have a balance between security and experience, and don't compromise on experience. Some key design principles that we followed while we were designing our experience: minimalistic, uncluttered design, 5-minute setup time, one-click security stuff. This is, I will leave it for later reading. Coming to the last part of our approach, which was technology. Technology enables your digital face. Look at all digital channels while you are transforming. When we did, we relaunched our portals, web portals, social media websites, mobile applications, and electronic channels. Electronic channels are also equally important because that supports your digital transformation. One of the key elements of our digital strategy was to use technology platforms. Why? Because we were frustrated with custom development. Any change that we used to raise was a huge change with a big dollar value, with relaxed timelines from our suppliers. Technology platforms reduces your development time and time to market. It also reduces your overall total cost of ownership over a longer run. And you need to maintain minimum skill set within your organizations. For example, I'll give you, if a bank is maintaining multiple native applications, he has to maintain that skill set within the bank, or he has to be dependent on some external vendors. With the platform, it's much easier. Why to develop from scratch when you can readily launch it using a platform? That was a critical element of our strategy. Some other critical considerations while you are transforming. One is people and processes, because you are moving your traditional business into a virtual business. Now customers cannot see you, cannot ask you. Whether you need to put a BPM for a straight-through processing, or you need to create a back office where customers can call and ask for help. Electronic channels, like I said, these are equally important. We launched ATM machines, more ATM machines, cash deposit machines, interactive teller machines, video conferencing, things like that. One critical learning that I want to share here is that digital transformation is not one-off initiative. It's a journey. When we completed our digital transformation, we were not getting the expected results. What we did was we created a cross-functional team looking at various elements of our digital business, looking at what products or services to be launched based on the market demand, why adoption is not increasing, how to attract customers and engage customers, what target marketing campaigns that we have to launch to increase usability. Heavily rely on dashboards and reports, because BI tells you where the change is required. And lastly, your frontline staff is the most critical, because they are the one who are facing customers. If they can convert a customer into a digital customer, that digital customer will be more engaged, and he's going to be a digital customer forever. It's just the first time they have to help the customers to convert to digital. I would also like to share some of the key learnings from our digital transformation. The most important one is the experience. Create frictionless experience so your digital transformation doesn't fail. Another important thing is security. Security should not be an afterthought. It should be embedded in the process, because you are transforming your business digitally. There is nobody looking at those transactions. So you have to take care of the security as part of the process. Use platforms wherever possible to reduce time to market. Focus. It's not a one-time activity. It's a journey. You have to continuously improve and increase adoption. Use target marketing and campaigns to increase adoption, digital adoption. Create cross-functional team to remove silos and reduce conflicts. When there's a cross-functional team, it's team's decision. It can have a security guy, it can have a risk guy, it can have a fraud guy. Don't go independently, try to create a cross-functional team who can take decisions. And lastly, heavily rely on analytics and BI. So what happened after our digital transformation journey? Some of the key figures that I want to put. If I take a look at last 12 months transactions, over 82% of the transactions were done on digital channels. That's a big success for a bank in GCC. If you look at the digital adoption, in 2014, we were having 100,000 digital customers. Today, start of 2019, we have 150,000 active digital customers. The last part is fee income. Every year, we are doubling our fee income. We set an aspiration start of the year, and we achieve doubling the fee income. With this, my presentation ends. I would like to thank all of you for your patience and time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I mean, those were some very impressive numbers at the end. So it seems that you've gotten customers on board. Did your customers want this digital transformation? How much was it coming from the customers and their needs to transact more on mobile, have ease of payments and everything? Can you talk me through how you listen to customers and how that fed into your kind of overall transformation?
Yep. See, our experience is that customers may not know what they need. Like Henry Ford said, that if I would have asked what people want, they would have said they want fast horses. But he invented car. So customers, they have an image of the bank that there is a physical bank where my money is kept. I'm talking about my market, maybe European markets are different. So they used to physically touch the bank and see. It was difficult. You know, they don't know, they don't want it initially, because for them, going to virtual, putting money where they cannot talk, they cannot see, it was very difficult. But what we experienced was that you have to handhold those customers through frontline staff. You have to, you know, make them aware that digital is the convenience. Once you convert them to digital, like for example, if a customer is walking into our branch, the frontline staff will show them, oh, how easy it is to use the mobile app and do all your transactions. Next time, he will not take that, you know, hassle of coming to the branch, parking the car, wasting his 3 hours. He will be forever digital. So coming back to your answer, they want it? No. They need it? Yes. That's what we do.
Okay. What challenges have you faced? What have been the biggest challenges in kind of this 5-year transformation program? I guess internally, did you struggle with buy-in, and then from, I guess, the customer perspective?
It's both sides. It was too much rigidity from our internal departments, because obviously their job is to secure the bank. They will make sure that the bank is so secure that it doesn't run. That's what they do. So that was one part of it, because you know, we were relaxing some of the functionality on our digital business. Yeah. And from a customer side, our experience was that when we designed the experience, it was too much from our own perspective that what customer wants. Customer doesn't care what product they want. You are selling them mortgage or this and that. Customer, they have a need. You need to understand that need. When we transformed, we understood that, oh, the experience needs to be enhanced. And hence, we continuously improved our experience so that it is so easy that customer is doing what he wants to do.
Okay, so we have a few questions. How do you increase the fee income with supposed increased competition, new entrants, and banks thin margins?
So there are various campaigns that we run to increase our digital business. Number one, we regularly introduce new, revenue offerings on our digital channels that will bring in more revenue. The second thing is that we do target marketing and campaigns. Like, we are living in a country where expat population is very high. From a particular country, we know for example, remittances are happening through the exchange company. We give them an offer that do it, it's free. Once they are engaged, it's much easier to do it. That's how we do it.
Okay. Can you talk us through kind of the partnership with Kony helped in the digital transformation, and are you now fully relying on an external vendor? Then has this increased, I guess, your utilization of external vendors?
Yeah, true. I can do that. So we were using, native platforms for our native development for our mobile app. I'll give you an example. Yeah, and we used to maintain Android developers, we used to maintain iOS developers, Windows developers, BlackBerry, Symbian, all these things. Any change was difficult because you need to have all sort of skill sets within the organization. True, there are limitations of platform. Okay, it limits you on certain things, but now our guys are trained on only one platform. We have an in-house team. We are not dependent on a vendor. If we want to augment our resources, we do that. And they quickly develop things on platform, and it reduces time to market, which is very important for us.
Okay. So what is your definition of a digital customer transaction? Is it the end-to-end transaction, or?
So like I said, what we have done is we have taken last 12 months total transactions happening in the bank, and out of those total transactions, 82% were done on a digital channel, which includes my mobile banking, my corporate internet banking, my retail internet banking, my SMS banking.
Okay. Do we have any questions in the audience? No? Okay, so I'll take one more. With players like Apple entering the game with zero fees, do you think fees is just a short-term and dangerous success metric to use?
Apple, like I said, I started with saying that, fintechs are trying to get into our business, and now Apple with a different card, they are also coming up. I think the best thing is to be part of the change if you cannot avoid that. So probably I think that's what the bank is trying to do. They are trying to partner with fintechs, and similarly, we will also think of partnering with Apple, maybe.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen.